Up in the midnight sky, everyone knew Stella as the shiniest star, but nobody knew her secret. She was the only star who wobbled when she tried to twinkle. Stella lived in the constellation of Twinkle Tops, a dazzling neighborhood where every star shone was a perfect, still rhythm. Her biggest wish, the one she made on shooting stars passing by, was to stop her embarrassing wobble and shine just as perfectly as her neighbor, the effortlessly cool and steady star, Orion. Every single night, as soon as the sun dipped below the horizon, Stella would begin her practice. She'd take a deep breath, trying to hold her light steady, focusing all her energy on being still. She even subscribed to the premium channels from the Star Academy, watching countless tutorial videos titled Twinkle with Precision and Mastering Stillness. She'd follow every step, trying to mimic the instructors, but it was no use. The harder she tried to be still, the more her light would shake and quiver. It was frustrating and, frankly, a little lonely. All she wanted was to fit in, to be part of the beautiful, uniform sparkle of her home. Soon, the other stars in the constellation began to whisper. During the day, when they were all supposed to be resting, Stella would overhear hushed comments. "Have you seen Stella's twinkle? It's all over the place," one would murmur. "It really ruins the perfect picture of our constellation," another would add. Even Orion, who was usually kind, gently pulled her aside one evening. "Stella," he said softly, "you have so much light, but you need to learn to control your energy. A steady glow is a sign of a strong star." His words, meant to be helpful, felt like a tiny asteroid hitting her core. She felt her light dim with shame. Then came the big announcement. A royal comet, the spectacular comet Celesta, was scheduled to pass right through their sector of the galaxy. It was a huge event, and the constellation leader had declared that every single star needed to be perfectly still for a grand celestial photo. The entire universe would be watching. A wave of terror washed over Stella. How could she possibly stay still for something so important? The pressure was immense. She imagined the leader's disappointed face, the other stars' judgmental glares. She even considered a drastic plan, hiding behind the dark side of the moon until the whole thing was over. It seemed like the only way to avoid total humiliation. The fateful night arrived. The cosmic air was thick with anticipation. The comet appeared, a magnificent trail of glittering ice and dust, but it was moving much faster than anyone had predicted. "Hold your positions. Be perfectly still," the constellation leader commanded. All the stars in Twinkle Tops held their breath, focusing every ounce of their power into creating a rigid, unwavering light for the photo. But in their attempt to be perfect, they accidentally created a single, blinding flash of light so bright and static that it momentarily blinded the comet's pilot. The magnificent comet began to veer dangerously off its course, heading straight for a dense asteroid field. Panic erupted. Stella, who had been trying to shrink herself into a tiny, unnoticeable speck, saw the comet swerving. In her fear, she wobbled more than ever. But her frantic, shaking light was the only thing moving differently against the static backdrop of the other stars. Her shaky, wobbly gleam created a rapid, rhythmic, shimmering pattern. To her surprise, the comet's pilot, a small, purple alien peeking out of the cockpit, recognized it instantly. It was a universal signal for slow down. The comet's engine sputtered, and it slowed down just in time, narrowly avoiding the asteroid field. The little purple pilot gave a cheerful wave of thanks directly at Stella before safely correcting their course. The other stars were stunned into silence. Their perfect, rigid twinkling had nearly caused a disaster. The constellation leader floated over to Stella, their own light flickering with a newfound understanding. "Stella," the leader said, their voice filled with awe. "We were so focused on being perfect that we almost caused a catastrophe. Your wobble, your unique light was exactly what that situation needed." In that moment, everything changed. Stella was no longer the star who couldn't twinkle right. The constellation leader appointed her to a brand new, prestigious position, the official emergency beacon of the Twinkle Tops. Her unique wobble was a gift, a beacon that could be seen and understood in moments of crisis, precisely because it stood out against the static background. Stella no longer tried to hold her light still. She embraced her wobble, letting it dance and shimmer across the night sky. From that day on, Stella twinkled freely, her light a joyful, wobbly dance. She learned that her wobble wasn't a flaw. It was her signature, her unique rhythm. Inspired by her, the other stars began to experiment too. Orion tried a slow pulse, while others tried a gentle fade in and out. They realized that variety didn't just make the night sky more interesting. It made it safer and more dynamic. Stella, the wobbly star, became the coolest, most admired star in the sky, not because she tried to be like everyone else, but because she finally had the courage to shine her own way. It just goes to show you, sometimes, the parts of us we think are mistakes are actually our greatest superpowers. The whole universe is better and brighter when we stop trying to fit in and start shining uniquely. So, whatever your personal wobble is, don't you dare hide it. It might just be your rhythm, the very thing that makes you shine the brightest. Thank you so much for watching this little story. If it brightened your day, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from the cosmos. Shine on!